is a world of pirates. Piracy is the scourge
Finished
of...
the One Piece live action on Netflix, and ooh, I gotta say, I loved it. Let me start off with a question. What was your favorite episode? Or even better yet, list your episode. Did y'all rank the episodes? I ranked the episodes. We're gonna start off, I'm gonna give y'all my quick episode rank list from best to worst. The best episode I thought was episode 5, followed by episode 1, episode 6 as the third best episode, episode 7 was 4th, then episode 8, episode 4, episode 3, and episode 2 was the last, my least favorite episode. Not that episode 2 was bad, I think all the episodes was pretty good. Episode 2 was just not as good as the other ones, but overall, I'm hyped. I'm happy with what they did. This was amazing. As a One Piece fan, I was worried. I was scared. Like a lot of us, we was like, yo, what are they gonna do to our One Piece? They did it justice. They made a lot of bold changes, but I'm not mad at it. I love the direction they did. All the changes they made, it was different, but it still felt like One Piece. Some things are a little iffy. The transitions were from like anime to live action. Some of them was real corny, but I still enjoyed it. So let's talk about the world. Live action, One Piece coming alive in the real world. It was amazing. The first scene, starting off with the geographic, watching the islands and the Grand Line set in a realistic setting. It was just hype off the bat, and I loved it. The intro, just fire. Introducing Garp right from the beginning. We know Garp and Roger's connection. We know Pirate King, his rival on the Marine side, Garp chase Roger all over that he can. Every time he heard his name, he went there. So to have him there at the execution just made perfect sense. That was a great decision, just perfection. All the islands looked great. Most of the characters were pretty damn good. Alvida shocked me. I didn't know what to expect, but I enjoyed Alvida a lot. Actually more than the anime. Just crazy. Same for Captain Morgan. The fight scenes with Captain Morgan versus Luffy and Zoro, I enjoyed it more in the live action than the actual anime. They took out one of my favorite scenes when they held Helmeppo captive. But other than that, I actually enjoyed Captain Morgan in the live action. It was pretty good. It was some confusing things about him and his character that they did, but we're gonna get to that later. Let's actually start with the characters, the Straw Hats. We're gonna start with the MC, not Luffy. Not Luffy, Zoro. Zoro is the MC of this live action. The best thing in the live action is Zoro. Oh my gosh. Can Zoro do any wrong? Anime, manga, live. Can Zoro do any wrong? Zoro was perfect. The change of his introduction to him beating the bounty hunter from Baroque Works. In the anime, we were told Baroque Works tried to recruit Zoro, but we never actually saw that. So to have that be his intro, I thought was amazing. And then, you know, in the anime, we know he's Pirate Hunter Zoro, but we never actually seen him hunt a pirate. Like, when he came in and Shell's Town, and he got captured and hung up and met Luffy, that was it. And then he joined the crew and became a pirate. So we never actually got to saw Pirate Hunter Zoro hunt pirates until the live action. Every chance he got, he was like, yo, I'm trying to cash in that bounty. I'm trying to catch. They say so true to the character of Pirate Hunter Zoro. I loved it. It was amazing. It was like, yo, they did Zoro. Best fight scenes of everyone. Absolutely. Best fight scenes of everyone. Zoro fights were all amazing. Zoro versus Mihawk. Oh my god. That was a great fight. I felt that. I felt it in my bones. It got me just as hyped as the anime did. It got me just as hyped as the anime did. Scars to the back was a swordsman. Shame. Nailed it. The moment after Zoro lost when he made the vow to never lose again, that was a little corny. It felt a little corny to me. Not saying that's a bad thing, but some things just ain't gonna translate well. I thought that was one of them. I enjoyed it, but it made me cringe a little bit watching them. Like, But as you can see, I had a great time. The change up between Zoro and Nami's character. the back and forth they had in Baratier right before she left, or right before the fight, when she didn't want Zoro to fight Mihawk. And she was trying not to care. She was trying to stay undercover. Because remember, she was still with Arlong at the time. She was trying not to care, but she couldn't help herself. I thought she wasn't going to show up to the fight when it was Zoro, Luffy, and Usopp pulled up to the duel. And then it started and she just came out of nowhere. I'm like, look at her, she can't help herself. But then, you know, she had to leave and all that. But that relationship, very different from the anime, but it was real interesting. I enjoyed it a lot. At first, I didn't see the banter between Zoro and Sanji. I was like, are they leaving out the Zoro and Sanji banter? But then it came in, I'm like, okay, there it is, there it is. That was also amazing. I didn't like what they did with the Zoro getting lost trope. I saw it like one time in episode 3 when he was trying to find his way back to Kaya's house, the mansion, but he was going the wrong way. Other than that, Zoro was in episode 2 finding Helmeppo's room and going places. Like, what is this? Like, Zoro wasn't lost enough. Just a minor thing, but it's Zoro. Getting lost is one of his main things that we love the most, one of Zoro's funniest tropes. And that wasn't in it a lot, but you know, that didn't change anything. It was still amazing. Zoro, damn near perfection. Luffy, his accent was, it was turning me a little bit. But overall, I thought he was a pretty damn good Luffy. I love how fast they questioned his captaincy. Like, this makes me real interesting to see if it goes forward what they do with Water 7, because that was the first time Luffy as a captain was questioned. Here they did it quick with Nami questioning Luffy's decision to let Zoro fight Mihawk. And they actually talked about it a lot. Zoro mentioned being a captain. Sanji was talking about being a captain and a leader. They actually talked about it a lot. They put him on the spot early. I'm like, yo, this happened in Water 7. We getting it before they even get to the Grand Line. It was amazing. And seeing Luffy so simple-mindedly put with this complex situation. He handled it just like I think Luffy would. Just like I think Luffy would. It was amazing. His fight scenes weren't that great. Him versus Alvida, pretty damn good. They weren't bad either, but compared to Zoro's, yeah, I mean, they had the most fight between Luffy and Zoro, so I gotta put him second, but damn, Zoro just felt like the MC. Luffy headbutting Kuro was so funny. That took me for real. Like, for some reason at the time, I forgot that's how he beat him in the anime. And then it happened and I remembered it, and I'm like, yo. I'm just happy. I'm just happy as a One Piece fan. That was a delight. Luffy is still Luffy. Nami was also pretty solid up until the end. On the end, she started shining, we know, with the Arlong, and when her moment came, she really shined. But before that, she was pretty solid. I actually forgot. It reminded me. Nami used to be kicking ass in the East Blue. Nami used to be throwing good hands back then. She can't really do that now, at least in anime. We know everybody is stronger and all that stuff, but it was nice seeing back then. They got Nami looking like she got hands for real, for real. It's just amazing to see. Her introduction stayed pretty much the same. Her stealing the boat from the buggy pirates. Before her highlights, her concern for Zoro was what gripped me the most before her main storyline came about. I thought that was real interesting, a real good change. When she had that back and forth with Zoro when they played the drinking game. And I actually thought Zoro outsmarted her, which was real interesting with the drinking game when Zoro got her to actually talk and opened up. It's like, it felt like Zoro just tricked her into opening up when she didn't really want to. It's like he just wanted information, and it seemed like Nami would be the type to do that to Zoro, but Zoro did it to her. I'm just like, I like this. Zoro being the smart one. Zoro is normally just a little less clueless as Luffy. Great performance with the stabbing of her arm. I felt it. I felt that almost just as much as I did in the anime. Almost just as I did in the anime. It was pretty damn good. Nami character, enjoyed her a lot. For the weakest two, Maybe because they came later. I'm not really thinking the time was the problem. I think it was just the execution. Not that it wasn't bad, I just didn't feel it as much. Sanji backstory, in the anime I felt that. Live action, I didn't really feel it that much. Not that that's a bad thing, because I normally don't feel, you normally don't, I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but maybe movies, but TV shows ain't a lot of, TV shows don't normally have like backstories in the first place outside of anime. And they don't get you to feel the same as anime, at least for me. So it's not too much of a drop off, but like the Zoro versus Mihawk fight, I felt the same as the anime. Just as hype, just as excited. Not everything did that. Nami backstory, when Arlong did the thing to Bellemere in the anime, I felt that. In the live action, I didn't feel it that much. But it was still good. But for some reason, Sanji character just had like a falling off to me. He was still good. He wasn't bad by any stretch to me. But it just wasn't the same. At least from the anime, I think Sanji was like the first great character. Of like, Luffy wasn't really flushed out that much in the anime. Neither was Zoro. We saw his backstory, but Sanji was the first hard-hitting backstory to me. And the Baratier with Zev being there, I think Sanji was, in the anime, Sanji was the first story that connected. And it didn't do that here. But pretty damn good. His fight scenes look pretty good. His kicks, that guy, kudos to him. The British accent is hilarious. But it's just, the suit in Sanji, it fits. It fits, but it was a change of pace and it was throwing me off just a little bit, but it was funny. The weakest when it comes to character, not only strength, but now actual character, Usopp. Usopp felt lost at times. Like, in anime, he's there for comedic relief at times when he can't service in fights. And here I just didn't feel the comedy as much. I know they had him like the storyteller, giving him credit when he didn't do anything. Like at the end, he's telling the story like he beat Arlong single-handedly. And he's there for stuff like that. But it didn't hit as well for me. It didn't feel like Usopp. Usopp is like a staple of comedy in One Piece. And this Usopp wasn't that funny. So it just didn't, it felt like, I don't know why Usopp, like, he just felt out of place, terrible. The cowardly acts when there's like, not even helping in a fight at all. I mean, that felt like Usopp, but something also felt off about it. Or is it just me? And the fact that they completely took out his relevance in what was supposed to be his episode, the scenery from the anime changed. So Usopp didn't get to have his standing up to the pirates moment. So in the battle versus Kuro and his pirates, Usopp did nothing. And the fact that they changed Zoro's backstory and inserted it in that episode also felt like it took away from Usopp. Because, you know, first episode felt like Luffy. You know, we had 2 Luffy flashbacks. And then we also had another Luffy flashback in episode 2. Episode 3 started, it was supposed to be Usopp's episode, but it didn't feel like Usopp's episode because for the most part, he just introduced Kaya to the Straw Hats. We saw him on the Mary. But other than that, he didn't really do much. And episode 4 came with the finale of that storyline. I think that's where they put the Zoro backstory. So Usopp didn't really do much in what was supposed to be his moment. So already I was like, it's like, I don't know why Usopp is here anymore. It's like, why did Luffy let him join? Kind of thing of like, we know why, but I'm just straight from the live action of like, because of the boat, because he thought he was just a good guy. Usopp kind of felt flat for me. I didn't think it was bad. It was good. It still felt kind of like what Usopp would be. I think that's a saving grace. It feels like what Usopp probably would be in real life, surrounded by people like Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, and even Nami. So I'm not really mad at it, but it just felt flat for me. The supporting cast for the characters, Garp, I don't know how I feel about what they. At the end, when Garp let Luffy just go, I don't see Garp in an anime doing that. I don't see Garp in the manga doing that. Not like that. Like, he would try to capture them, and if they get away, they get away. But if he was to catch them, I don't think he would just be like, was just testing you and let them go anyway. They would have to find another way to escape. He wouldn't just let them go. So that felt kind of off. But Garp trailing Luffy all the way to the east, of him being worried, because you know, pirates, Grand Line dangerous, you can die, you get caught, you can be executed. He wanted to make sure Luffy was sure that this is what he wanted to do, that Luffy wouldn't waver in the face of difficulty. And when he didn't, Garp was like, all right, I disagree, but I'm fine to let you go because I see that you know what you're doing, what you want to be. I see Roger in you. Just like Zeph also pointed out to him, like, yo, the new generation, we see he reminds me of Roger. He got his confirmation and he's like, all right, I'll trust you to be your own man. So I like that. But outside of that, he just did some uncharacteristic things for Garp. But once again, it doesn't have to be a one-to-one swap. Because, you know, we can't help but compare it to the manga and anime because that's what we know, and we know that's what it's based off. But the change, most of the changes they did felt great. This one, I don't really know. I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, I don't know, I'm probably gonna keep saying that, but I don't think anything they did particularly was bad. Actually, I could think of one now that I said it. But Garp, I don't think it was bad. It felt a little off at times. He felt a little uncharacteristic. The laughing frantically, I'm like, I'm not too sure what that's about. But overall, he was solid. One thing I would definitely say was bad was taking out how Kobe joined the Marine scene. I think that was bad because it felt flat. Kobe overall, amazing. Like, Kobe had his Marineford moment already setting up the Garp in Arlong Park. Amazing. I'm like, all right, y'all ahead of the game. I'm not mad at it. That is exactly what Kobe would do if he was in that situation in the anime. I'm not mad at it at all. But Kobe punching Luffy was one of Kobe's very first moments of courage to take his step towards his dream. And now they took that punch away and had him punch Helmeppo, but then we didn't get to see how he actually enlisted all of that. He just punched Helmeppo, and then the next time we see it, the next couple scenes, he's now a new recruit, and he's gonna be helping them. Well, Garp takes interest, and now he's gonna be helping Garp find Luffy. But we didn't get to see like the moment when they had of them saying they know about him and Alvida and doing the background check. They took that away, but that was like a major Kobe moment. They kind of replaced it with Garp questioning Kobe, but that didn't hit the same as what it did in the anime. But overall, Kobe was amazing. Loved Kobe. Helmeppo, for the most part, he just felt like a tail to Kobe. Felt like he just followed what Kobe did. Up until the end, he had one good moment when he was like, I want to show people that Zoro isn't the only one that knows to use a sword. Making like how Zoro's chasing Mihawk, Helmeppo is chasing Zoro. It makes sense because Zoro did whoop his ass in the live action and in the anime. Or at least at Water 7 when they met and Kobe tussled with Luffy, Helmeppo tussled with Zoro. So that felt pretty good. Or it would make sense, especially for the live action and the turn they took. So Helmeppo was alright too. Buggy, they kind of made a fool out of Buggy. You know he was like supposed to be a fool, but for some reason it didn't feel like Buggy. I didn't really like that. I didn't like what they did to Buggy. It didn't feel like Buggy. Buggy getting I could definitely see him getting captured, especially by fishermen, but like some of his lines and his comedy, it didn't hit for me all the time. So Buggy was another one I can't say I wasn't too happy with, but it wasn't one of the highlights for me. It was just kind of like just there. It's like, all right. I like how they used him to get to Straw Hat, with him hiding his ears in the Straw Hat, knowing everything. And then also use him to get to Arlong Park, him getting his body back. He was supposed to help, and then he just scattered him. Like, Buggy would definitely do that. Overall, it was alright. Arlong as the big bad was pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. They fast forward a few plot lines. Like, Arlong in anime, we didn't know about the humans mistreating fishmen just yet. They brought that to the forefront from the jump. They even had a Jinbei. They mentioned a Jinbei from the jump. I liked it because I actually want to do an Arlong video, because I feel like Arlong's story and how it unraveled to us is so underrated. So underrated. But that's for another time. Arlong in the live action, pretty damn good. I like that they made him seem like he was stronger than Luffy, much more than the anime. Because at one point, you know, in the last fight, Luffy was like, I don't think I could beat you, but I can destroy this room. That was cool. I would rather they stuck to what the anime did in that aspect. When Luffy decided that he would destroy that room, it was solely for Nami. It was solely like, this is the place that kept Nami imprisoned. And as symbolism for freeing her, I'm gonna destroy this room, this building that represented her captivity and her lack of freedom. That was the anime. The live action, it was more like, I'm destroying everything you built, Arlong. Of like, I'm not doing this to free Nami. I am doing this to free Nami, but top priority is doing this to destroy what you built. And then the byproduct of that, I'm freeing Nami. I would have liked if the Nami thing was the forefront, because that's how it felt like in the anime. Especially when he started tearing up the room. It was not like, I'm trying to hurt you. It's like, I'm trying to show my friend that she's free now. So it was cool, but I probably would have rather them stuck to what the anime did. But I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. So overall, I thought it was great. Is it the best compared to like a regular show? If this wasn't One Piece and it was just a regular show, or as a non-One Piece fan, I don't know. I think I want to find a non-One Piece fan to like have a conversation with, to see how they take some of the stuff, because certain things people just won't understand unless you know One Piece. So if you're completely blind to One Piece, how does some of the things translate to you? Is it still as corny, or even more cornier, or is it not as corny at all? I'm super curious, because I can only look at it from the prior knowledge of being a One Piece fan. So as a non-One Piece fan, or for a non-One Piece fan, I'm very curious to see how they would take it. I am super happy. I see that it's top 10 on Netflix. It's only been 2 days, and it says it's even #1 TV show today on Netflix. So success seems to be achieved. If this continues, if we can stay in the top 10 for the next 2 weeks, I think we can almost damn near guarantee a season 2, which I would absolutely love. I don't know how far they can go. I doubt they would be able to get up to like Wano, but if they could get up to at least Marineford, at least pre-time skip, I think that would be pretty damn good. I don't know how I feel about seeing live action post-time skip, but pre-time skip, I'm interested of all of that. But yeah, so far, the One Piece live action, I actually loved it. Thought it was great. Thought it was amazing as a One Piece fan. I'm proud of what they did. There was a scene of them playing We Are when they first got the Mary, and the Mary first took off sailing, and they played the We Are in the background. I'm like, oh my goodness. I almost got emotional. I felt that. I'm proud of what they did. I'm happy with the One Piece live action. I know the live action bar is low, but I don't even feel like it's good because of the low bar. Generally, as a general show, I still think it's pretty damn good. Still think it's a good 7 out of 10, 7.5, maybe even an 8 compared to other shows. Like when it comes to live action or anime related things, I think I would still have Alice in Borderland #1, because I think that's a masterpiece for me. I love Alice in Borderland. Not as much as I like One Piece, but live action wise, I said Borderline is definitely better. But this would be second. This would be a solid second. Yeah, let me know what you thought of live action. How did you like it? Don't forget to drop your episode list. Did you rank the episodes? Drop that in the comments, like, comment, subscribe, and thank you for watching.
Yeah, I know that you gon' say 'cause you need something real, for real.